Amen. Muli. Ang, ang,
Hello?
staffing pa rin po tayo.
Nope. Ano na tayo? Sa leading na din.
You can't expect your team.
Hello, good afternoon, ABM. 11 and then gas. I think we're still waiting for other students. So for now, ang andito pa lang ay si John Forbes, si Jairus, Reynalyn, Samantha, and then si Shireen. Let me know if you can hear me well.
Loud and clear po.
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, and then if you can see my screen.
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes po.
Okay, so I think we'll start naman na since it's recorded naman, and then we are planning to end this discussion by 2 p.m. So we can proceed na rin to 5M1 by 2 p.m. So we can end the discussion earlier. Okay, so for today, and we're done with the staffing. Yan, marami naman na-discuss with the staffing. For example, like yung mga benefits ng mga employees, how you encourage them, how you will train them, and then how, if in case na mag-work kayo, yan, so you'll have an idea kung paano kung paano kayo mag-a-apply. And, wait. Ayan, kung paano kayo mag-a-apply sa work, and then how you will do your best para magkaroon ng mga reward, and then yung mga benefits in working. And kung ano yung mga i-consider nyo in working, no? Hindi lang basta dapat salary lang. As well as yung environment, work environment, yung benefits like yung mga HMO, yung mga increase, mga rewards, kung may 14-month pay to 13-month pay, then that's better, no? Yan. So now, syempre we have already fulfilled our vacancies, and then yung mga staff natin complete na yan. So now nasa chapter 6 na tayo, which is directing or yung tinatawag na leading. Okay, so after ng staffing, it is leading, or other word, directing. Okay, same lang yun, no? Directing and leading. Okay, so this will talk about leadership. Okay, so for the learning objectives at the end of this chapter, you are all expected to understand the following. So first, yung definition of the leading or directing, and then the nature of directing, the motivation, theories of motivation, communication, types of communication, barriers of communication, leadership, and types of leadership. Okay, so just to summarize, no, ang kailangan nating kabisaduhin dito is yung motivation, leadership style, and then the communication. Okay, so what is leading or directing? It is the process of motivation, communication, and leadership. So it deals with the relationship of managers and non-managers. So between managers, no, and then yung mga non-managers, meaning this can be the owners, yung kung nasa top level. And then pag na mga nasa mga bottom level or lower level, yung mga subordinates mo. Okay, so it says here, it is the process of motivation. Okay? Motivation, not controlling, no? Motivation, how will you encourage your subordinates to do well? How will you encourage your co-managers to be a good leader to their subordinates? And then, process of communication. Syempre, paano mo sila mamomotivate without communicating with them, diba? So, kung paano mo, through this communication, you'll know how to talk with your subordinates. No, kung paano mo i-deliver ng maayos sa kanila yung message or yung mga tasks na kailangan nilang gawin. And then the leadership, no? So I think you have already applied this one during your group works. And then lastly, yung natatakpan ng image. So managers as leaders should understand the motives of the people. Okay, so yan, syempre as a leader, as a leader, no, dapat marunong kang magbasa ng mga subordinates mo. Syempre, you need to read them. It's because you'll know how to communicate with them. For example, meron kayong employee na ganito yung ugali, and so you'll know how to communicate with them. Kung malumanay ba or like bossy. Yan. So you'll know no kung ano ba yung appropriate na klase ng communication sa kanila. And then what type of motivation din yung ibibigay mo sa kanila. Okay, any question? Wala naman. Okay. So for the motivation, yan. So it is the use of rewards and penalties in order to influence desired behavior. Rewards and punishment are still strong motivation. Okay, so again, no, sa motivation, no, this can be in the form of rewards or penalties. So for example, sa students natin, so how are we going to motivate them to do their assignments? So this can be reward, especially for those na running for honor, no? So, syempre, may mga students na mamotivate sila through rewards, like giving them recognition. Yan. And then, mga plus points if in case na complete attendance sila or nagpapasa sila bago pa mag-deadline. And then next, penalties or yung mga tinatawag na mga warnings. Yan. So, meron kasi mga students na namomotivate sila no if tinatakot mo sila, no, or if merong consequences, malinaw na consequences if in case na hindi sila mag-aral ng mabuti. Okay, for example, kung hindi ka nagsasagot ng mga activities mo, then you'll get a failing grade. No? So that's one of the examples of penalty. So as well sa work din, no. So for the rewards, yan like bonuses or performance bonus na tinatawag kapag ginawa mo yung test mo, na-meet mo yung quota, and then maganda yung performance mo or yung result ng KPI mo, then you'll get a reward. Depende sa company, no, kung anong klaseng rewards yung ibibigay nila. So this can be in the form of money or in the form of tangible items. No, so usually talaga ang mga employees mas na-appreciate nila pag mga tangible, like money, and then yung mga items, no. Di kasi nila na-appreciate kung ano lang kung simpleng certification lang. Diba? So better talaga na merong pera, no, and then mga items. And then for the penalties, of course, kung kunyari tawag dito, hindi nila nagagawa yung work nila ng maayos, this can be suspension, no, or termination if talagang sobrang pasaway yung employee na yon. Yan. So rewards and punishment are still strong motivation. Okay, so we have a lot of theories of motivation. Pero dito kasi, ito lang yung mga mentioned, no? Medyo madami-dami din. Yan, like traditional theory, hierarchy of needs, McGregor's theory of X and Y, maintenance theory, achievement theory, Bernard and Simon's theory of equilibrium, Vroom's preferences or expectancy theory, and then reinforcement theory. Though marami talagang marami pang iba. So it depends na lang, no, kung you want to research more about the theories of motivation. So the theories of motivation described in this discussion help to provide a broader understanding of what motivates people. So ano ba yung nagpapamotivate sa inyong mag-aral ng mabuti? Okay. As a student, ano yung nagpapamotivate sa ating mag-aral ng mabuti? Bakit ka nag-aaral? Bakit mo sinasagutan yung assignment mo? This can be another motivation is for your family. Ayan. Ayan. So kayo, you can ask yourself now, ano yung motivation mo? Ano yung nagpapamotivate sa yung mag-aral ng mabuti, magpasa on time? You can type in the chat box. Walang nagmamotivate sa inyo? Okay, baka nag-iisip pa kayo, no? Pero you can type in the chat box kung ano ba yung nagpapamotivate sa inyong mag-aral lang mabuti, magsagot ng assignment on time. Okay, sige, abangan ko ha. Babasahin ko later. Okay, you can still check within yourself kung ano yung nagpapamotivate sa inyong mag-aral. Okay, so let's start with the theories of motivation. So first, yung traditional theory, based on the assumption that money is the primary motivator. Financial rewards are directly related to the performance in the belief that if the reward is great enough, employees will produce more. Okay, so according to this theory, no, ang primary motivator daw is yung pera. Especially for the employees, no, lalo na kapag may kapalit na malaking bonus. If in case na matapos mo yung certain project, then it will really motivate you, no, to finish that project. Okay, so totoo yun, no, pero ang katapat ng mga employees, bayaran mo lang sila ng maayos, and then they will do their best. Yan. Sabi ni John Forbes, isa sa nagpapamotivate sa kanya to study hard is to manifest a good and bright future. And then family, and for the family and friends, yan. Okay, and then the rewards. And so, yun. Yan. At least, no, iniisip natin na we are going to study well for our good and bright future. Though not all the time naman na talagang study, no, yung magiging susi, no, sa success natin. Pero most of the time talaga. Not all the time, but most of the time, key to success talaga yung studies. Yung kapag nakapag-aral ka ng mabuti. So, for sure naman, no, kapag nakatapos ka naman ng college, then you'll get a good job din naman or a stable job. Okay, so ano lang, rare yung yung mga situations na kapag hindi ka nakatapos ng study and then you'll get a job. Yan, so rare case 'yun. Yeah, but most of the time pag nakatapos tayo ng pag-aaral, then we'll get a stable job. And of course, I think sa akin nung medyo nung bata pa ako, isa sa nagpapamotivate sa akin kaya ako nag-aaral. Parang I viewed the studies as fulfillment to myself. Like para siyang games na kapag natatapos ko yung assignment ko on time, then parang achievement siya sa akin, yung mga ganun. Yan. Yan. Ako kasi nung medyo bata ako parang active or achiever, though medyo mapasaway din naman ako noon. Like nagka-cutting din ako, experience that. Pag di ko talaga gusto yung subject, natutulog din ako sa subject kapag ayoko. Or kapag nakakaantok talaga, natutulog din ako. Yan, I experienced that scenario din. Yan. For Samantha, ayan, ang nagpapamotivate sa kanya is to make her parents proud in every achievements that she get, and being ready for having a work someday. Ayan. So, yan, isa talaga sa mga motivation natin kaya tayo nag-aaral is to get a better job or a stable job. Yan, para ma-secure na natin yung future natin. Kasi talagang medyo siguro like 90% or 95% no kapag nakapagtapos ka naman ng work, basta ayusin mo, ng school, basta ayusin mo lang, and then diskarte, you'll get a stable job. Ayan. So aside from money, no, meron pang ibang nagpapamotivate sa mga employees. So, I know, familiar na tayo sa hierarchy of needs by Maslow. So, familiar na kayo dito, no? Ito yung, stated that human needs in the form of hierarchy should be satisfied in order from lowest to the highest needs. So, dito yung achievement, power, later na pala to. So, yung sa hierarchy of needs, hanap tayo sa Google kung para sa iba na hindi pa familiar. Pero I think familiar na kayo dito. No? Naalala niyo pa ba to? Yung Maslow hierarchy? Yan. So sabi, ito yung isa sa mga nagpapamotivate sa mga employees. And then, since hierarchy siya, kailangan nating masatisfy muna yung mga nasa lowest bago tayo makarating, no, dun sa highest na hierarchy. Ito. Okay. So, view natin. Yan. Okay, so ito yung itsura ng hierarchy of needs or yung Maslow hierarchy. So if you are familiar, na-discuss na rin to during your, I think, elementary pa lang, di ba, dinidiscuss na to. So sabi dun sa theory na yon, you need to fulfill kung ano yung nasa lowest bago tayo makapunta or bago natin masasatisfy yung next level. So for example, before you satisfy your safety needs, you still need to satisfy first your physiological needs. For example, yung mga food, water, warmth, or rest, yung tinatawag nating basic needs. And then, saka tayo makakarating sa security and safety. Yan, kasi you need to fulfill this first yung mga food, water, and then security. Hindi lang naman to, this security or safety, it does not only talks about the shelter, no? As well as your financial security. Sakop din itong safety needs. Yan. So, yon, di ba? Syempre, bago ka makarating sa mga, bago mo isipin yung ibang tao, or bago ka maisip ng ibang tao, dapat, ka muna, mapulfill mo muna yung physiological needs mo and then safety needs bago tayo papasok sa intimate relationship and friends. Okay, sarili muna natin. Okay, food, water, warmth, rest, then financial security, shelter, and then papasok na tayo sa belongingness and love needs. And then syempre, no, kapag may nakaka-appreciate sa'yo, then mabuboost yung confidence natin. Then we'll satisfy our esteem needs or yung prestige or feeling of accomplishment. Kasi may nakaka-appreciate na sa atin eh. So ito yung tinatawag na psychological needs. And then kapag may nakaka-appreciate na sa'yo and then nakapagtapos ka na ng pag-aaral, financially secured ka na, and then that's when you can satisfy your self-actualization. Makakarating na tayo dito. Usually, ang mga nakakarating dito yung mga senior na din eh, yung mga para retire na, no? In this level, ayan, sinishare mo na yung mga blessings na meron ka. Okay? It can be knowledge or pera. Ayan. So, at this point, sinishare mo na lahat ng meron ka. Lahat ng sobra sa'yo. Yan. Okay? But after, bago mo marating tong level na to, you still need to satisfy the below needs. Okay? So hopefully, no, lahat tayo makarating sa self-actualization where we just share our blessings to other people. Okay, next. Next theory, achievement, power, and affiliation theory. Okay, so these three needs, ayan, I need to achieve, like yung sabi ni Samantha, yan, yung feeling na meron kang na-achieve, and then to share those achievement to her parents, diba? And desire, I need to achieve, desire to do something better or more. Ayan, kapag achiever tayo, we tend to plan to achieve better or more, no? Aside from what we are doing. So kapag pag ang motivation natin is achievement, then we will do our best kasi meron tayong plan to achieve eh. The next is need for power. A concern for influencing people. Okay, so ayun, syempre, if you have already achieved your plans to do better or more, then you can now influence other people. Okay, syempre pag you are doing better, 'di ba? For example, yan sa klase. If kung nasa top ka, like you pass your assignment on time and then mataas ang grades mo, then your classmate will come to you, then ask for some tips or kung meron silang part na hindi naiintindihan, then you can share your knowledge. Okay? Then next, a need for affiliation. Need to be liked. Parang part din to ng hierarchy of Maslow, which is hierarchy of needs ng Maslow, yung part ng belongingness and love and then self-esteem. Ayan. So, syempre, if you want to influence people, you also tend to be liked. Okay? The next theory is motivation maintenance theory. Contends that motivation comes from the individual, not from the manager. Okay, so yung motivation, hindi dapat to nanggagaling sa manager, but it must come within yourself. Okay? Yan. Yan. Dapat you must have your own motivation as an individual. Okay, McGregor's theory of X and Y emphasizes that motivation of employees is the best achievement, is best achieved. Ayan, so the management creates an environment that encourages member involve in basic and then intrinsic rewards by directing their efforts towards the goal. Ayan, so meaning, no, it talks about the giving rewards then sa employees to motivate them to do their work better. Okay, and then achieve their goals and then their objectives in the organization. Yan. So, ina-encourage nila yung mga employees nila to do better through giving them rewards. Achievement theory. Yan. An individual's ambition to do things better or achieve something is due to a very specific motive or need that is not something inborn, but it can be acquired through training and teaching the trainees to think and behave in terms of achievement. Okay? So, lahat ng skills and knowledge na meron tayo, hindi naman yan lahat inborn, no? Some skills and knowledge can be achieved or developed through training or can be done from even experience din. And then galing din sa mga mentors or teachers. Okay, so wag tayong panghinaan ng loob, no? As long as we are open to trainings and then teachings, then you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. Bernard Simon's theory of equilibrium states that the inducements provided by the organization must be kept in equilibrium with the contribution made by the employees. In other words, equal wages must be paid for equal work. Okay, so meaning, dapat ina-equate natin yung effort ng employees sa ibibigay natin sa kanilang reward. Even it can be in the form of money or in any kind of reward. Dapat ini-equate natin yung effort ng employees natin. Hindi pwedeng mas greater yung effort ng employees natin than yung organization. Kakapiranggot lang yung binibigay nilang rewards, no? Then it can demotivate the employees. Okay? So kung anong effort na binigay ng employees, tapatan natin. Okay, para mas ma-motivate pa sila. Vroom's preference or expectancy theory based on the premise that an individual assigns values to the outcome of each alternative course of action. Yan. So, yun, parang same then with the theory. Ayan, yan, yung outcome. So, dapat individual assign values to the outcome of each alternative course of action. Yan. So, parang as individual, lahat ng naging effort mo, lahat ng naging output mo, parang meron ka ng sineset na value dyan, no? So, parang just to connect with the theory of equilibrium, no, since na-equate na yan or parang na-calculate na ng individual yung value nung naging effort niya, then dapat matapatan yun, no? Okay, so yan, individual assigns value or amount or yung amount na tinatawag values or yung halaga nung output nila. So dapat matapatan yun. Reinforcement theory, components, stimulus. Yan. So, isa sa mga tawag dito, yung nakaka-affect sa motivation is yung environment. Yan. And then the response can be the behavior itself, how we respond to the work environment. So, reinforcement reward given to the performance only. And then high performance meaning high pay. Maturity theory contends that as people grow psychologically and maturity, they strive toward the highest level of need. Okay, so parang as people grow, no, psychologically, ayan, or meaning na parang tinatawag na mga maturity, tumataas din yung nila, yung parang yung gusto nilang ma-achieve. Yan. As they mature, no, tumataas din yung achievement nila or yung gusto nilang ma-achieve. Okay, so parang sinasabi dito, no, yung isa sa reason kung bakit sila may motivation is yung maturity nila. Job enlargement involves the redesigning of jobs so that related activities are added to those currently being performed. Okay, so ayan, yan. So meaning, no, pag nagkaroon ng mga redesigning of jobs, magkakaroon kayo ng panibagong work, meaning meron kayong panibagong learnings. Okay, next, after the motivation, we'll discuss now the communication. So what is communication? The transfer of information that is meaningful to those involved. In general, the transmittal of understanding. Okay, this can be done verbally or online. Yan can occur in many forms ranging from face-to-face contact involving face expression and body movements. So good communication defined as interchange of thought or information. It brings about mutual understanding and confidence. Okay, so isa sa mga indication na we have a good communication kapag nagkaroon tayo ng feedback. Okay, which is related sa gusto nating ma-achieve na feedback. Okay, so for the types of communication, this can be formal or downward communication. So, ayan, a more common method and flows down. Meaning this can be done through communication between top management, and then the messages will float up to down to the subordinates. Okay? So upward communication naman can be facilitated through counseling methods, open door policy, and then survey. Okay, parang ano din to, mula sa subordinates up to the top management. Lateral and or peer level communication. This can be done between same level of position, like member to member, or subordinates to subordinates, manager to managers, ganun. Committees, conference, or group discussion, yan. This is done, syempre alam na natin to, group discussion. This can be done by several positions. And then grapevines or informal talk, informal paths of communication. Yan, ways to communicate. Ayan, for example, memoranda, telephone calls, inter-office news, letters, reports, conference, conventions, meetings, bulletin boards, exhibits, and then through displaying visual aids. Okay, so what are the barriers to communication? So reduce the effectiveness of communication. Okay, so nowadays, ano kaya yung mga barriers natin sa communication? Ano yung tingin yung number 1 na barrier natin sa communication? May naiisip kayo? Ano kaya yung number 1, no? Na hindrance, no? Para makapag-communicate tayo ng maayos. May naiisip kayo?
Through virtually po ba, ma'am, or physical?
Pwedeng through physical or pwede rin naman through online. Pero I guess you can use na rin through online, no? Kasi ito yung na-experience natin madalas eh.
Ano po? For connection.
Yes.
Connectivity.
Yes. That's right, no? So, isa sa pinaka barrier natin, no, in communications, in communicating, no, is the poor connection. Yan, internet connection loss, walang load. Yan yung mga reason kung bakit hindi tayo nakakapag-communicate well. So minsan, no, may mga nag-aaway pa, no, pag nawawala ng internet, may nag-aaway pa yan. Lalo na kapag nasa game kayo, tapos nawalan kayo ng connection, no? 'Di ba? Okay, so these are the examples of barriers to communication. So first, yung distance. Especially ngayon, di ba? For the face-to-face, physical distance, especially dati, no, nung hindi pa uso siguro yung cellphone or internet connection, no? Yan, isa sa pinaka-hindrance talaga is tong distance eh. So, paano kayo makakapag-communicate, di ba? Kung hindi kayo nagkakarinigan. So, physical distance, less face-to-face communication may lead to misunderstanding or lack of understanding of the message being communicated. Especially during yung first months ng online learning, di ba? Sobrang ang laki ng adjustment natin sa online learning. Yan. Minsan nami-misunderstood tayo ng mga students, and we also misunderstood the students as well. And then, meron tayong mga nami-miss na announcements and activities. Yan. So, since distance and then we cannot do face-to-face, no? That's why we use online learning. So next naman is distortion. Individuals fails to individuals fail to distinguish actual data from his own views, feelings, and emotions, being close-minded. Okay, so ito yung kapag ini-interpret natin yung isang data or yung actual data, pero meron tayong emotional barrier na tinatawag or iba yung views natin, beliefs natin, feelings natin, and emotion. Kaya minsan, nami-misinterpret natin yung data. Okay? So minsan no, pag galit din tayo, mas better na kapag may feeling na tayo nagalit tayo or emotional tayo that time, mas better na pakalmahin muna natin yung sarili natin. And then saka natin basahin ulit. No, baka mag-iba na yung interpretation natin. Semantics, language aspects of communication. Certain words have multiple meanings. Ito yung mga words na may iba pang meaning, no? So, pwede rin ma-misinterpret yun. Depende sa nagbabasa. Okay? Lack of leveling, difference in level of knowledge and expertise of a supervisor and subordinate. Okay? So, ayun, yung level of knowledge can be a hindrance din. So especially kapag merong isang hindi gustong bumaba no dun sa level, then magkakaroon talaga ng misunderstanding. Pwede din tong between different profession like accountants tapos engineer. Yan pag sa mga projects then meron kasing mga accounting language tas may sariling language din ang engineer, so magkakaroon pa ng misinterpretation, ganun. Lack of trust, previous experience of subordinates dealing with supervisor. Okay, lalo na pag yung subordinates no na-experience niya na meron siyang trauma no from her or his former supervisor. Yan. Then nagkakaroon siya ng trust issue. Inaccessibility, supervisors who are often out. Okay? Dapat being a supervisor, dapat one call away, no? Pag may kailangan tayo, then dapat reachable agad yung yung supervisor natin whenever we have questions. Lack of clear responsibilities, yan. Kunyari, lack of clear responsibilities like hindi talaga naibigay sa inyo ng maayos yung malinaw na job description sa inyo. Like medyo sabog yun or hindi siya clear or specific. Then magkakaroon ng barrier, no? Kasi baka iba pala yung pinapagawa ng organization sa'yo. Tapos hindi pala malinaw dun sa job description. Okay? Yeah, minsan yun sa scope, minsan nagugulat ka na lang, hindi naman pala siya part ng scope mo, then ito yung pinapagawa sa'yo. Yan, so malilito tayo no, kung ano ba talaga yung role natin. Personal incompatibility, personality between a supervisor and then subordinates might clash and thus create communication blocks. Okay, so aside from the level of knowledge, yung personality din. Okay, lalo na pag parehas kayong matapang, no? Dapat merong isa sa inyo na mapagbigay. Yan, merong isa sa inyo na understanding. Yan, refusal to listen, careless attitude, or arrogant nature. Yan. So, pag close-minded na talaga, no, and then they refuse to listen. Though, naibigay mo na lahat ng datas and backups. Ayan. So, kumbaga may sarili na silang opinion and then whenever you suggest something, then ayaw talaga nila, then that can be a barrier as well. Failure to use proper media, use of jargons, yan. Especially sa mga, may mga, like language din. Parang same din siya with the semantics. May kanya-kanya kayong language kasi, or use of jargons. Yan. Yung PPE, for example, yung PPE sa accounting is plan, property, and equipment. Pero yung PPE naman sa medical field is yung, yung PPE na pang protection or yung sinusuot. Ayun. Okay? Communication gap. Ayan, may mga defects and loopholes sa communication. No, baka may nami-miss kayong tao, no, bago kayo makipag-communicate. Okay, any question with communication?
None po.
Okay, so next is leadership. Yan. This is the art and the science of influencing people so that they willingly move toward the achievement of group and goals. No, as you can see, no, pag may nakikita tayong mga terms and then they always say na this is a science, this is an art. Kasi it's because science kasi, di ba? It has system. Okay? Kaya siya science kasi may sistema. Okay, so yeah, minsan pag may na-encounter tayo na it is a science of influencing, meaning may sistema, no, of influencing people. Yan. So, it is a system of influencing people so that they willingly move toward the achievement of the group goals. Okay. So the ability to obtain followers and influence them makes a leader. Okay, so types of leadership. Okay, dictatorial leader accomplishes tasks through fear of penalties and maintains a highly critical and negative attitude in relations with subordinates. Okay, so kailan ba ito nagiging mabuti, itong dictatorial leaders? Kapag sobrang pasaway ng mga subordinates nila. Like, kunyari, ginamit na nila yung autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire, and then hindi naman siya kumbaga hindi siya umeffect, no? And then hindi pa rin nag-ayos yung subordinates, then that's when dictatorial leadership will enter, no? Through fear through fear of penalties. Okay? So para to sa mga pasaway na subordinates. Baka through mentioning the termination or suspension, no? Baka mag-ayos sila, 'di ba? Autocratic leader forces subordinates to rely on the leader for their satisfaction. Okay, so here and whenever they have tasks to do, yan, they will ask their leader first kung ano yung gagawin, and then pag nasatisfy na yung leader, then you are doing well, parang ganon. Okay. While democratic leader naman, ito naman parang consulting muna yung mga subordinates. Parang baliktad siya with the autocratic. Okay? So sa autocratic, lahat ng bago pa siguro bago ma-perform yung isang task, you need to ask your leader if the process is good or if the process is already perfect. While democratic naman, ang consultation is to the subordinates, no? Like actually you can the organization can use this democratic leader, especially syempre yung mga subordinates yung nakaka-experience ng day-to-day operation ng company. So mas gamay nila to or mas may marami silang alam. Okay, especially pag yung project na gusto mong i-impose or ipino-propose mo is will affect the day-to-day operation, then you need to ask your subordinate first. Ano kaya yung mga masasuggest nila, no? Baka meron pa silang masasuggest na improvement doon sa proposal mo. Okay, depends not only on their own capabilities, but encourage consultation of subordinates. Laissez-faire leader depends completely on subordinates to establish their own goals. Ayan, so so ito naman para rin siyang democratic. Pero yan, yung outcome or yung output depends talaga dun sa subordinate. Ayan. So as you can see here, no, yung leader interaction, subordinates, and then leadership style. So for the autocratic, asking muna sa leader bago nila i-perform yung mga jobs. Pag na-satisfy na si leader, then they can do their jobs. Or the tasks and the projects came from the leaders. Okay? While the democratic, ayan, meron namang feedback from leader, may feedback din from the subordinates. More like talagang merong teamwork within the leaders and then subordinates. While yung the laissez-faire, ayan, bahala na si subordinates. And then siguro the leader will just check or the leaders will just enter into that situation kapag may mga issues na or may mga errors. Yan. Minimal degree of handling subordinates. Siguro pag sobrang galing ng subordinates, then the leader can just hands up. Okay, next. Leadership, power, authority, and leadership. When we say power, ability to command or supply force, people can be influenced by someone to do something that they would not otherwise do. Meron talagang mga taong parang innate na may power sila, like they can let you do something, meron talagang maganon parang may power, parang innate na sa kanila na may power sila. Okay, authority. Ito naman, yung authority, dina-delegate naman to. Okay, for example, the top management chose a manager. Then, the manager has given an authority. Okay, while yung power kasi innate to parang within the individual kung kaya niyang pasunurin yung tao. Okay? While yung authority, it delegated to. Kumbaga parang binibigay. Ayun, ganun. Do parang same lang din naman sila. Yan. Yan, lalo na kung may authority, pag may authority ka, you have the power. Yan, leader's attitude, theory, X and Y leader. X use a much more authoritarian style of leadership than Y. Okay, so assumption about people, theory X. Ayan, so yung si X daw yung gumagamit ng more authoritarian style. So average human being has an inherent dislike of work and will avoid it as possible. Therefore, people must be corrected, controlled, directed, and threatened with punishment. Average human being prefers to be directed, wishes to avoid responsibility. Yung theory Y naman, physical or mental effort in work is a natural play or rest. Threat of punishment are not only means of bringing effort, self-direction, and self-control. Commitment to objectives is a function of reward as achievement. Human being seeks responsibility. So ito yung difference between the theory X and theory Y. Okay, so yung theory X more likely may parang ito yung mga siguro tinord na like yung mga para sa ng tao. Ayan. Yan, like yung theory Y, medyo motivated pa yan So management skills, I think we have already discussed it last yung unang-unang chapter. Like yung mga three basic skills of a manager. Technical skills, yan yung mga day-to-day operation. Dapat alam na nila yung process. And then, human skills and ability to communicate or get along with or motivating and communicating with his or her subordinates. Conceptual skills and ability to coordinate and integrate the entire organizations. Yan. You see the organization as a whole. or in the bigger picture. Management roles. Ayan, a role is defined as an organized set of behavior belonging to an identifiable job. Yan. So figurehead, manager represent the organizational unit in all matter of formality. Kumbaga, ikaw yung model, ikaw yung nagre-represent. As a manager, you represent the organization or the department. Liaison, manager interacts with peers and other people outside the organization. Yan. You must have a good communicating skill or communication skill. Leader, manager provides guidance and motivation. Yan. So communication, liaison, and the leader, you motivate and provide guidance. For the informational monitor, manager serves as a receiver and collector of all or of information. And then disseminator, and transmit special information within the organizational unit. So yung information na makakollect mo, you will give those information to the specific or appropriate departments or people. Spokesperson, manager disseminates organization's information into its environment. So, ayan, as a manager, you must be the voice of your subordinates. So, pag meron silang mga issues within the organization, you must direct that message to the top level para maayos agad. That can be an example. Decisional, syempre, as a manager, dapat meron kang entrepreneurial na mindset. Like, you initiate change. For example, ng change is the improvement. Yan, may gusto kang i-improve sa business, so that is a part of change din. Disturbance handler, pag may mga misunderstandings within the department, dapat isa ka sa mga nag-aayos ng conflicts na yun. Yan, so management Filipino style, sabi daw by Kayod, action hungry and committed, and his manner are rather serious and those of an introvert. By Lusot, managers will always find loopholes to avoid hard work and utilize an excuse for failure. So usually, pag mga manager, dapat, ayan yung may mga process improvement para maiwasan yung, yung hard work or tinatawag na mas mahaba pa yung gagawin yung process, though meron naman palang pang process improvement na madidiminish yung ibang steps. By libro, managers literally goes by the book. Ay, managers acquire his managerial skills by playing it by ear and through listening siguro, no? Sabi ni Bayaido. By ugnayan, participatory and coordinative, he integrates various styles depending on the company's needs and conditions. Okay, so that's all for the leadership, though we'll still leading and directing, though we'll still discuss this further next week. I mean next year, kasi next week wala na tayong klase. Ito na pala yung last discussion natin this December. Any question, guys? Let me know. Wala na. Okay, so we'll take a break and then we'll meet by 2:10 siguro, 2:10. And then, thank you guys. You can now leave. If you have question, just message me through Messenger. And then, ayun, sa ABM, please invite your classmates to enter the Zoom, Kasi na tayo solving problem na tayo sa FAVM. And, ayun, debit and credit na. I think, di nila masasagutan ng mag-isa yun. Although, meron tayong group work, meron din tayong individual work. Yan. So, thank you guys. Thank you, Gas. Let's take a break.